All right, today we're starting chapter 3, graphing in the coordinate plane. Throughout this chapter, we're going to be talking about graphing, writing equations in order to graph, lines, points, and everything else you would normally graph in the coordinate plane. So today what we're going to do is just go over the basics of graphing in a coordinate plane. So the first thing we need to know is what a coordinate plane is. A coordinate plane is a lot like two number lines, okay? One going horizontally, one going vertically. And they meet where 0, 0 is. And that 0, 0 point is right here in the middle. And that is called the origin. All right, it is called the origin. It's where the two places come to, where the two number lines meet, and it is also where you start a lot of times when you are graphing. It's your starting point, your home base, if you want to say it that way. Okay? Now, in a coordinate grid or a coordinate plane, there are 4 different sections. Okay? And each section is called a quadrant. So, for instance, we have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Now, I'm not just haphazardly naming these. There is actually a reason for this. Each quadrant is in fact named these particular quadrants. So when you're talking about quadrant 1, you're going to be talking about numbers that are positive, positive. Okay. When you're talking about quadrant 2, you're going to be talking about numbers that are positive, negative. So negative, positive. So the x would be negative and the y would be positive. Okay. This would be negative, negative. And then quadrant 4 would be positive, negative. Okay. Now, what that means is that each each number line of the coordinate grid is called the y-axis. And then we have the x-axis. Okay. And each ordered pair is going to make up an x and a y. And that's where these positive positives and negative positives are coming from. All right. So, for example, we have a point down here in quadrant 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to start at our origin at 0, 0. And we're going to count how many um, spaces over we need to go in order to get to that point. So we go -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay? So right away we know that our x, because this is the x-axis, is going to be -5. All right. Now we count how many down we need to go on the y-axis. We go -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So it's -5 again. All right. Now an easy way to do it is just to count over and then count down. Okay, to get to that point. So we would go over to the left 5, down 5. So our ordered pair would be -5, -5. I made a typo. All right. All right. So another example. So we would again start at the origin and we would count over how many however many spaces we need to go on the x, and then up however many we need to go on the y. So we go over, well, we see it's at -7, so I can write -7. And then we go up, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this case, we have -7, 7. last example, we are going to go over, in this case, we're not going into the negatives, we're going into the positives this time. So we go over 6. So our x is going to be 6. And our y is going to be 1, 2. So we have 6, comma 2. Remember to add those parentheses around a coordinate when you're writing an ordered pair or coordinates, okay? And that should be everything that you need to know about how to graph points in a coordinate grid.